sparred AJ, Tyson, Wilder, Klitschko. Wladimir jumped in 1-2, step back, 1-2 again, and that like it really hurt.
Stun you.
Like I was like, wow, and I had like 3 Tyson Furies in front of me. I said, hang on, which one is the real one? Like he can really crack.
Welcome back to another episode of Van Stale. Thank you all for viewing and subscribing. I'm Andrew Garcia, joined by Nelson Garcia, and today's special guest is a force to be reckoned with. He has a bachelor's degree, he speaks 5 languages. He's a 6'9" professional boxer with a record of 9-1 and 8 big knockouts. We have the Hurricane, Christian Thun.
Oof, el huracán, the hurricane.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Nah, bro.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Good
you for
to be
coming.
here.
Thank you for coming, big dog.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
How was that drive?
Good. Hang on, I gotta correct you because it's actually not 5 languages. It's 3 fluent and 2 so-so.
What are the 2 so-sos?
Spanish and Russian so-so.
Que hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Oh, you already know.
I mean, being here in Miami, you gotta have that Spanish down packed.
I actually lived in Barcelona for like 6-7 months. So, well, and even before that. And you know, Italian is very similar to Spanish anyway. So like literally, it's like 2 different dialects. So once that you kind of, you just pick it up way easier. So many words are, you won't believe, like the same, like hundreds of them, so it's like very easy for me. Whereas for like an English speaking or say German speaking to actually learn Spanish is a whole different ballgame. Yeah. But for Italian, it's like you're boxing and you want to learn to kickbox. Like you have
right. Before we get started talking about the boxing, since you've been living, how long have you been living here in Miami already?
4 years in June.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure obviously you've had Cuban food, right?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. I love it.
Wait, how's the Cuban food?
Brilliant. I can only recommend it. I really eat. I eat a lot.
What's your favorite thing about the Cuban food? What's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish is skirt steak.
Ropa vieja?
No.
Vaca frita?
No. He likes the palomilla. Bistec de palomilla.
Yes,
palomilla.
That's the one.
I'm Cuban, bro.
Yeah.
Con arroz blanco, frijoles negros,
exactly.
tostones.
Yeah, tostones, sweet tostones.
You said you've lived in Barcelona, so that's where you got the Spanish from, or the start of your Spanish.
Exactly.
But being here in Miami, you got Spanish from here, or you got Cuban Spanish?
Well, most probably Cuban Spanish. Exactly.
That's not real Spanish. That's
exactly.
Yeah. That's the real Spanish, bro.
Well, no. You know what? When I hear now Spanish people speak from Spain, I think like, damn, this sounds very strange. They speak like.
You have to like really like listen to it. Like they talk really,
And they speak more proper too.
Exactly. Whereas when I hear Cubans, like, all right, that's Spanish.
It's clear. It's more clear.
Yeah.
But so you have a bachelor's degree in international business management.
Yeah, that's right. I finished my school when I was 17 years old, believe it or not. Not really because I'm smart. Just in England, I studied. I went to school. So I'm German, born in Germany by a German father, and my mother's from Italy. I lived in Germany for 5 years, then moved to Italy, and then to the UK. And in England, you have 2 years less of school than you have here in America. Right. So you actually finish school like fully at 17 or 18. I was born in February, so I was like lucky to kind of finish, like I was enrolled in school really early and whatnot. So I finished school when I was 17, and my parents told me, listen, you do what you want, but education is pretty much free in Europe, believe it or not. So it's a big difference to here. Here it probably would have cost me $100,000 to study that. In Europe it's free. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So why not do it?
You took advantage of it.
Took advantage of it, and it's just like, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's very like, it's like you have like 2-3 hours a day, and it's not like you're there like 7 hours like you're in school or something. It's a very easy thing to do. If anybody listening here or whatever is thinking of doing it, especially in Europe where it's free, you should just do it, because it's very manageable.
I think that's a beautiful thing though, that education is free.
Like I would say. Education, like in standard universities or colleges is free. Once you start to go, to Harvard and one of them. Well, actually, Italy and in Germany is free in any university.
Really?
You go to actually, I'm 95% sure. I mean, there may be some private universities,
right.
But even like the best universities in Germany and Italy, they're actually free. Whereas in England, I'm not quite sure. I'm sure that there are some sort of costs involved, but it's you should really do it.
Of course.
So you graduated at 17 with your bachelors.
No. School.
Oh, school.
High school. And
So
stuff.
then,
Right.
when did you get into the bachelors and getting that?
At 17. Well, it was September, and I was 17 years old. And then in February, I turned 18. So I was super young. But most of the, not most, but I would say like good 40% of the other, kids and or like people in class were also really young, because that's just when you finish school.
Right.
So it's a pretty cool system, because then like now speaking a little bit about work and whatnot, you finish your college at like 22, you maybe do a master's if you want. I didn't do it, and you're 23, and then you can be unleashed into the work market, whereas in other places, you finish school at like 19, and then you have a gap year and this, and then you finish, then you're 26, 27, 28, then you're way older than that. Whereas with this kind of system, with 23, you're fully educated, more than you'll ever need, by the way, and you can be unleashed to the workers market. You can do what you want.
How did you juggle going to college, school, and having a boxing career on the side? That's tough.
You know what? Actually, it really wasn't I'd say it's like
It was easy.
I have like maybe like 2 or 3 hours of college a day. I used to probably go to one of them. The other ones you kind of like show up online or whatever. Then every now and then you would have to really kind of study and do like stuff. But I was really not a good student. I was just doing the bare minimum to pass everything. We were kicking the ass at the end to pass everything, but it really like took some occasional sleepless nights, and I was, by the way, I was training and fighting as an amateur. I was doing some work. I was playing poker a lot. I was doing all sorts of nonsense. I really had a full blown life. College was just like, if you really want to take college serious, and I get like the 95, 100%, then it's a different thing. But I was just like, in England you get a pass with 40%. When I found out you get a pass with 40%, with 40, like less than half of the shit you have to do right.
So a D. No, that's an F here actually.
Yeah. Like you pass with 40%.
That's crazy.
So and then I was always a little bit friendly with the professors and teachers. I had like a 33. They rounded up to like 41 or something else.
That's because you're probably tall. You're 6'8".
Yeah, exactly.
Are you using your degree now currently?
I'm 6'9".
6'9". I'm back. 6'9".
But you said you play poker?
Yeah.
Do you still play poker?
Now I don't have the time. Now it's not enough time.
When was the last time you played?
Last time I played with Bill was in Vegas in May. Every day I'm saying I'm gonna go this week. And actually I wanna go today. After this I may go.
Oh,
I'll go with you.
Big Easy Casino, Hollandale.
Let's do it.
I mean,
if you're but what do you play, PLO or Hold'em?
No, Hold'em. I don't like
Hold'em.
Just
Okay.
No limit Hold'em.
What do you play? 1, 2, 2, 5?
1, 2, 2, 5. Well, I think I'm gonna go play 1, 2 here today. I've not played a hand since like May. I do like to look also poker on YouTube actually.
Yeah.
That's something that I really like to do. So I'm kind of still very I'll be okay. I just need like maybe like 20, 25 hands. We're getting back into it, and then we can.
Poker's fun. Talking back about your degree, are you using it currently right now, or you're just full-time boxing?
No, I'm full-time boxing. I'm not really using it to like for work or anything. I just box, but I'm I guess using it somewhat in not really in my boxing career, but it comes in handy on a day-to-day aspect too.
Their contracts, management, all that. You need to know what.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of common sense too, but it's.
I guess a lot of boxers don't.
The degree per se, it's how can I describe it? It helps you in your day-to-day life somehow, sometime, kind of. It's just something that's always gonna come in handy, and it's something you have, kind of, in your pocket. I'd say, whenever you're done with. You know what I'm actually thinking to do? This is actually hilarious. I'm thinking to actually get a law degree. And by the way, I've never been good in school. I've never, the bachelor's degree is like I've passed with a kick in the ass. I've never been interested in it. But now I'm seeing how certain skills you can actually learn in school and college and university come in handy. And if you have a lawyer's degree, I have a lot of lawyers' costs that I'm paying. I mean, immigration. I have a lawsuit in Spain. I have some things going on in America. I have 3 different lawyers which I have to pay
to watch the contracts.
All the things. And if you do it yourself, obviously you need to have a local license in Florida to be able to practice. But still to really have some, like a foundation of knowledge about law goes a long way in life. Never mind in your own day life. And it's always good to have a lawyer and a doctor in your family, and a computer technician too. My mom always
That's true too. Damn, Christian right here is a man of many traits.
You want to do law school here or back in Europe?
Yeah. You know, I even already called. No, here. I will not move from Miami. I'd rather be dead in Miami than alive elsewhere.
That's my guy.
Sounds very terrible.
So wait. So you don't like Vegas, right? You're a Miami boy, right? Officially.
Well, look, Vegas has its perks, good for training, and there's a lot of heavyweights there, so you can spar very efficiently, and you know, there's a lot of things that are good for Vegas. But I lived in Vegas actually. Vegas is alright. Like the first time, I stayed there from I would say April to August 2021, I believe so, 2021. And the thing is, I lived just behind the strip in a tower called Paramount. And you know, it's a nice building. I mean, it's nothing special. It's a nice new building and whatnot. And you know, I was thinking, you're close to the strip. You know, you have access to all the, like the gyms. It was next to the Top Rank gym too. I mean, like next to it, by the way. So you have access to these kind of things, and you have access to many other things. It's close to most of the gyms, but you know what? It wasn't my thing really, you know. Like the people that lived in my building, all of your neighbors, all, you know, like DJs and strippers and like all like nightlife people.
Too many distractions.
Yeah, you know, it is kind of nice or not, but at the end of the day, like I rather live elsewhere, you know, with like normal. Like, that's why I like Aventura so much. Where I live now, like families and you know, like people that have a day job and more people I could somewhat relate to, somewhat.
It's more family oriented.
More family oriented, and then a second time I stayed in Vegas, stayed on Mountain's Edge. It's called, as the name may suggest. It's like close to the mountain, I guess. It's still in Vegas. It's like Southwest Vegas by the IKEA. Vegas people, they always say, "Oh, by the IKEA." Apparently, someone's watching from Vegas. And this was very nice. It was we had like a house there, you know, nice neighborhood. This time, I really enjoyed Vegas. This particular time, it was only for like a month, but you are away from the strip. You know,
You're cool. Isolated.
But still, I mean, nothing ever comes close to Miami.
We agree.
I mean, you know what it is with Miami? Let me tell you, we are in a international mega city that's pretty much in the Caribbean, with Caribbean weather, and it's super international. You know, my own people, most Italians are culprit of it. They only hang out with Italian people. I just actually was with a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, and he moved to the UK 10 years ago. UK, speak English, and he moved there, and when I saw him, I didn't see him for years, and I saw him now, his English was still very bad. I told him, like, bro, what are you doing? You live in England, you should, but I know what he's doing. He's just hanging out with Italian people, you know, and I get it. You want to hang out with your own and all this stuff, but, you know, be open for different
you need to grow.
Yeah, cultures, people, this, that, and that's why I really like Miami. You have Latins, you have European, Western European, East European, you have, Caribbeans, you have South Americans, you have white Americans, or having like you have everything.
Now that we're talking about the Vegas and Miami, obviously you've had training camps over there in Vegas and training camps here in Miami.
Yeah.
Does the mountains in Vegas really make a big impact in your training compared to here that we don't have mountains?
I mean, let's put it this way. I actually had 2 training camps in Vegas. One, I didn't end up fighting for this particular fight. The fight got canceled. And the second one I actually lost. But this had other reasons, which I'll
we'll talk about that now, yeah.
We're going to leave that for the end.
Yeah. But, I mean, Vegas per se, I would say probably the best place to train. If you fight in the West Coast, I would train in Vegas. If you fight in the East Coast, I'd train in Miami. And if you fight in Europe, I would probably train in Miami because you're closer to Europe. But then I would try to fly to Europe like 2-3 weeks before the fight. Vegas will always be good because you have access to so much like boxing there. You know, you have access to so many heavyweights,
the
like good heavyweights to spar first. Then like the mountain is very good, but you can just run really well here as well. I mean, not necessarily. Apparently, there's a mountain I'm supposed to go to, a hill I'm supposed to go to somewhere here. I don't know where, but apparently there is one. I'm gonna tell you because I'm supposed to go in the next couple of week or two.
DM us and let us know because I don't even know about that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
If you go a little bit up north, like where you were just at by Orlando, Winter Garden area, there is mountains there, but it's nothing like Vegas.
It's like hills and stuff.
Hills,
It's like hills.
Well, in Vegas, obviously you have plenty of mountains, but I ran 2 of them. I ran Mount Charleston, it was really nice, And it was actually there was actually snow on Mount Charleston when we were there. Mount Charleston was really, really nice. But then what was like really breathtaking, I ran the Red Rock Canyon. That's more west, like on the way. Actually, you know what? I don't know. It's like it's somewhere like outside Vegas as well. I think southwest, and that is like really breathtaking. Like you run and you're just like looking at the you know at like the
Scenery.
At the scenery. It is really impressive, right? Mount Charleston is just like a long road. Just go straight and you kind of just run up there, like up to the big mountain. But the Red Rock Canyon is like unbelievable. Like it's like a park. You actually have to pay like $10 to get in, and then people will go hike there.
Yeah, it's like a national park.
Absolutely. So it's that for that Vegas really nice. And also kind of cool. You have so many fights there, and like it's like the capital of the boxing, like
the fight
world kind of thing. So you have a lot of like podcasts, like you guys. You have a lot of like every gym you go to, you have like boxing, like journalists, YouTubers, and
media
whatnot.
guys.
Media guys, exactly. You have a lot of just like fight sports. Like you go into it's funny because Whole Foods seems to be the spot to meet people. I've met. Who did I meet in Whole Foods? I met what's his name?
Larry Holmes, I think you saw there.
Larry Holmes. Yeah, I mean, I saw so many people like Mike Tyson, but actually randomly who I saw like.
You said Nate Diaz is weird.
Nate Diaz too.
Nate Diaz, I just randomly met, and he was super nice. I met Kubrat Pulev, my colleague, heavyweight colleague, and I met somebody else. Who did I meet? Well, anyways, like
it's good to network.
You just walk into people, like literally, like, oh look, you, and it's that's really cool,
But you see, in Miami too, man, there's a lot of people that you can walk in here too. And that's why me and him are gonna change the game. We're gonna have a lot of boxers come over here, because Miami's where it's at too.
Boxing. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I grew up in England, right? And like I started boxing in England when I was 13, 14, and I don't know any different. London is per se somewhat like Vegas. You have a lot of boxing going on there. It's boxing is massive in London too. So I was used to the YouTubers. I was following. I started to train in England when IFL TV just started. IFL TV on YouTube. And I remember them walking around with their backpacks and filming boys in gym. Now they're huge,
Right.
And then I moved back to Germany. In Germany was a really, really big boxing nation before. You had Universum and Sauerland. They had the Klitschko brothers, the Golovkin, Maidana. Everybody was there. I mean, a lot of big fights were happening in Germany. I mean, huge. They used to sell out huge arenas. But then things changed. The TV essentially dropped all these promoters, and then the whole thing just went south. And no YouTube channels, no podcasts, nothing was really there to kind of help to build this industry up again. And now there are a couple of guys, but still, the whole scene is pretty much drowned, and you feel it's just so hard to kickstart it again. Whereas, here in Miami, and a lot of fights were happening in Miami, a lot of people are training. I think Ryan Garcia is here now as well.
Yeah.
So like if things are moving here in Florida. Also,
we got you here too.
Right.
We got heavyweights on here. We got you,
Philip.
We have Philip at H.R. Govic.
Yeah.
We have Luis Ortiz.
Yeah. No. I mean, Miami is probably, I would say, LA maybe is even better than LA. Maybe not now, but LA was huge. Like 3-4 years ago, LA was maybe even better than Vegas.
It's always been.
Right.
Been a capital, yeah.
Like I would say, LA and Vegas are like this.
Yeah.
Maybe Vegas a bit more, but LA just after. And then you probably have New York, and then you have Miami.
Yeah. Texas is big too, though.
Texas is also big with the Charlo brothers and
Errol Spence.
Right. No, but Miami is still. I mean, we are complaining at a very high standard.
Yeah. The only thing, I mean, as far as training and trainers and fighters being down here, there's a lot. But the only thing that we don't have is we don't have big time fights down here.
Yeah.
We don't have big shows. Like we have shows, but they're small local shows.
Yeah.
I think we need to.
And Miami has the potential to have big fights.
Yeah.
We have stadiums. We have all that. So what we need is these promoters to start bringing things. It's really just the fan base that they're having issues with.
I don't think so, because I think a lot of people travel to Vegas from California, from all over the world. Why not do it here in Miami? We have the beaches here, the beautiful city, the lights. Miami's where it's at too. So
I completely agree with you. Miami would be
Vegas is a desert.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vegas because the strip is beautiful, but you can't compare that strip to Miami.
Oh, never.
You can't. You just can't.
Impossible.
And that'll be huge if we can bring more fights over here, man. Like big time pay-per-view, big showdowns. That'll be huge.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a dream. It is really a dream of mine to really build, fan base up here and just really get, things really going here in Miami. I remember when Canelo fought here and fought at the
Hard Rock.
Stadium, the Hard Rock. I just landed that day from England, so I missed the fight. Like the fight was like, the event started at like 6 and I landed like 8, but I was really like with my heart and soul, I was there. It was like really, I was really inspired by this, and I think Miami will be a destination for the future for fight fan and for fighters to train and to fight as well.
Yeah.
When you get your fan base even higher, maybe you can bring the fights over here, man.
Yeah. There's the plan.
That could be a good.
Once you start fighting those top 10, you sure you could do that.
Yeah.
Now.
And you can start calling the shots. Oh yeah, we're gonna fight, but we gotta fight here in Miami.
Yeah. No, that is the plan. That is the plan. Things have not changed since when I first came here. I actually moved here. I came here on vacation, believe it or not. I just stayed here. That's how much I love Miami. I came here 2 times before. I've done all the South Beach nonsense, but then I thought, I said, you know what? There's no need to come to Miami to do all that. I'm European. I can go to like Ibiza, Mykonos, and just have the same fun and just fly 2 hours. But then I came here a 3rd time and I actually met local people. And, they showed me the real Miami,
the real culture.
The real culture. I was like, hang on, wow! I couldn't believe it that people actually live like this. And then I rented an Airbnb immediately. Like I overstayed my vacation. I rented an Airbnb on the beach in Hallandale. Like on the beach, first line, and I was meeting people there, and I was speaking to them, and I thought they were all tourists, but they actually lived there. They were, like teachers and policemen and lawyers and dentists, and I was like baffled. I said, hang on, so you take the elevator to the beach every day, or to the bus? Say, yeah, man, like I moved here 25 years ago from New York, and I was like, well, I'm moving here now. And I came here. And it was a long journey because I came without paperwork or anything. Just came here with a $1 million smile, ready for action.
You already have your green card? I saw the podcast with
I'm waiting for it.
Oh.
I do not actually have it, but I have some good news because on Thursday I actually got my work permit, which is pretty much a sign that you get approved for your green card.
Yeah, it's coming.
So it is literally just, they said 6 months, and then they said 10 to 20 months because of the COVID backlog and the Ukraine crisis with all the people coming in and whatnot.
Right.
But I mean, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. One way or the other, I'm getting it.
Before we start talking about boxing, because I want to get into that already, but I didn't mention this, but people are probably wondering why boxing and not basketball. You're 6'9".
You know what? I asked this myself now as well. Actually, it's a good question.
Or even football.
In Europe, there's some basketball, but it's really nowhere near as big
popular.
It's just there. In
Are
Europe,
you good?
No, I'm useless. Like I couldn't. I have never played.
Oh, but to start now, it's too late.
No, like I've never played. Like
hey, it's never too late.
No, it's too late.
It's never too late.
It's true, but I can't play. Like it'll be like I could probably have a better chance to sit behind there and try to manage the podcast with the cameras and to play basketball. I really do not know the rules. I just want to see. Again, I want to see the Heat play the Lakers. When was it? I think the 29th of last month. It's already a month ago, actually.
Okay.
I think it's already a month ago. Incredible how time flies.
Yeah, it flies.
And I was like saying, obviously you have to put the ball in that net. I get it, but timeouts and all these things, and
it becomes complicated.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening. But if I have I really love boxing though. Actually, no, I actually don't like boxing, but I love to fight. So I really like that a lot, and there's a certain pleasure for it. Maybe I would have played football or something. Growing up in Europe, I played soccer.
That's famous over there.
Football.
Football. That's what I really played. And it's like that's what I've done as a kid, all day, every day. My grandma's garden. Like that's what boys do in Europe.
Right.
Whether you want it or not. If you don't play football as a kid in Europe, you're weird. Like,
that's the culture, yeah.
And what's wrong with you? And even thinking back now, all the kids that didn't play football, they were all weirdos. Now, bless them, they may be good, but back then it was always very weird if you didn't play. And I think the second sport in Europe is probably, it's soccer or football, soccer, I guess. And then second place soccer, third place soccer, and then you have maybe boxing. Formula One, you know,
great.
you know, golf, things like this, but basketball is pretty much non-existent in many. There are a few players, like some, you know, like Serbian, even Dirk Nowitzki, German. There are some other, you know, like players, but they all come to America.
You like football? Because I know
American football.
Yeah, I know you were at the Dolphins game. You went to the Tampa game.
You know what? Actually, I'm starting to like it. It's pretty cool. But once again, I'm just like such a novice in it. I'm just looking. Actually, I was just speaking earlier with a friend of mine. I went to the Tampa Cowboys game, and I thought the Cowboys was Tampa, like just far from the jersey.
So you went recent to the last game, right?
Yeah, the last game.
Yeah, we lost. You know, I was going for Tampa Brady, but yeah.
Right, and then I just realized, oh shit, actually, I went there as a Tampa supporter, but I couldn't care less. You know, I was in Tampa. You know, my girlfriend was in Tampa, so I just thought, let's support Tampa.
You had some good seats. You're right there in the front, right?
Yeah. It was really
Damn, so you got to experience that good.
Yeah. Oh, it was really brilliant. It was really, that's the way to really see a game. I mean, honestly, it was. It's funny, you know, because when you in Europe, when you go to see like a soccer game, and you sit as a Tampa fan in like the Cowboy area, you're gonna leave with a black eye. Like it gets violent in most occasions. Depends which section you are, but in most occasions, yeah. It was really fun to see that, you know. Like we were like we were like 6-7 Tampa fans, I guess, and then me, who completely doesn't care about who wins or lose, but I was as a Tampa fan too, and then all around us Cowboy fans. And you know, it was plenty of banter and jokes and nice. You know, I was thinking like, damn, if this would only be like this in Europe. You know, in Europe is a big problem, like hooliganism and that.
Yeah, but no one's gonna mess with you, bro. You're 6'9", you're big.
But you know
come
what,
on,
actually,
man.
Yes, but wait till they have 4, 5, 6 pints, then they're gonna mess exactly with me.
Yeah. Oh, then it's lights off for them. Then I feel bad for them. Shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, no jokes aside, I love sports. Anyways, like I like to learn and watch news. I mean, I guess football, basketball, boxing, like it's always good to watch and learn new sports and get to know more about it. And the NFL is somewhat growing too in Europe. They're not growing, but you know, they're doing certain like NFL meetups or you know, like games or whatever in Europe too. I just met recently a gentleman in Tampa, and he went to Munich to see the Tampa Buccaneers play against somebody. I don't know who they played. And I was like, hang on, Tampa played in Munich? He said, yeah. I was like, wow, like that's fascinating. And then he told me, you know, they're trying to market the NFL, like, I guess Europe, not really Europeans, but like they're trying to market the soccer league here. You know, with David Beckham, Inter Milan, and certain star players coming in and whatnot. So it's pretty cool.
Let's get into the boxing topic.
Let's get to the juicy part now.
Yeah. So you made the Italian Olympic team.
Well, I boxed for Italy, like for the team.
The national team.
Yeah. But the Olympic selection was a difference. I actually lost in that particular fight against the other Italian heavyweight, Guido Vianello.
Okay.
And you know, I got 2 points taken off. It was a good little fight, but I got 2 points taken off, and it was just like a bit of a shit show, basically.
Controversial.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight, but it could have gone. I mean, it couldn't have gone either way. Because once you're down 2 points, you're down 2 rounds automatically. So, but I got a point. I think I hurt him with a shot, as far as I would describe the fight, and then the ref breaks us up and takes a point of me for like using my head, but it was an uppercut. And this was the second round. The first round I think was his. Second round I heard him. He should have gotten a standing count. And the third round, I knew I had to do something, and it took another point of me. And you know, that was all she wrote. But you know, it was never meant for me to really be there. You know, in hindsight, you can always understand things a little bit better. But once that you wear a certain jersey, the AIBA blocks you to compete for a different nation for 2 years, or I don't remember 3 years. Like you know, you cannot like say you have dual citizenship, like I have. You cannot compete for France and then you know like, oh, I want to now be Cuban or whatever. It's very complicated to do this. I mean, you actually cannot. There may be some loopholes and whatnot, but
they're the most corrupted organization in the world of sports, man. They're really corrupted.
I mean, that's why there's not going to be no more Olympics.
Yeah, like, is it
the
official?
Talks. They're in the talks. I don't know how official it is.
No. There was a saying that by 2026 or 2028,
they wanted to eliminate it.
It was eliminated.
Well, honestly, if there is corruption involved, then let it be like this. Because we've seen so many amateurs get, the Olympic hopes and dreams and whatnot shattered. It'll come back.
Right.
Someone is gonna, take over and it'll come back. I mean, I remember even Germany is known to be a very, like by the book country, and there's plenty of corruption there too, but more at a very high level. It's a very taboo thing, corruption there, whereas in other European nations less. But even the German WSB, remember WSB, like this is
of course the World Series.
The World Series. Even the German team there was like a stink show. It was always some it was just a nightmare. I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was corruption involved and plenty of it's like very dodgy things, and
Well, also scaling the amateurs too. I'm pretty sure you can all agree is that they're taking off the headgears from these fighters.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That fight for money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They're not headgear, the cuts and stuff.
Yeah, I still remember very well my first fight without a headgear. It was in the London national quarterfinal, and I still remember it. It was like without headgear, I mean.
How did you feel about it?
I didn't really have much to say. I was just like, whatever, really, maybe I even liked it. I don't really remember if I liked it or didn't. It was just like, because not like I didn't have a headgear and he had it on,
Right, of course.
Didn't really change much. But if I don't know, man, like I'd really have to see a couple of facts from each position to see which one would be better, to have I think to have a headgear like this now would potentially be better, so you don't get cut too much in the amateurs, and then later in the pros you're gonna have, 100.
You don't have scars, yeah.
And those scars they reopen and whatnot. So I would potentially think it this way. On the other hand, I mean, you can convince me otherwise very quickly as well.
More comfortable.
How many amateur fights do you have in total?
49.
49?
43 wins and 6 losses.
What were the big names that you sparred? Not sparred, I'm competed with.
Joe Joyce competed with.
How was that work? How was that decision?
He won fair and square. I fought him actually on my third fight with a headgear. So I fought in the quarterfinal in the London finals, or like in the quarterfinal, I guess, and I fought in the semifinal. A guy, and I took my first, last, and only standing count in amateurs in that fight.
Against Joyce?
No. Against some other dude. I forgot his name. I'm not a really tall guy. He could crack a bit, and he was right. But you know what? He didn't really hurt me. It was the third round, and I got stuck in the ropes, and he caught me with a shot. And like I didn't really get hurt, but I kind of got a little bit unsettled, and I got standing count. But still, I won the first and the second, and pretty much the third round until the standing count. And then and I got a little cut. Though, and then the next day, and Joyce stopped every single body he fought in that national tournament. He fought like 10 fights, stopped everybody.
He has heavy hands.
He just didn't stop me. And then on the next day, I fought Joyce. I was really tired. I was really sore, and I had a cut in here. And he was, at the time, I think it's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I must have been 21 or 22 maybe. It's crazy. It's like 8-9 years ago. It's unbelievable.
Time flies.
It's shocking, actually. Well, anyways, and maybe it was even 20 or 19, I don't know. And he was, I think, 6 years older than me, so he was 26, 27. I really felt he was just a grown man. I was like a lanky, skinny,
tall fighter.
Kid.
You were skinny and lanky?
Yeah, believe it or not, yeah. I mean, I remember I was around like 110 kilos, so that's around like 240, maybe something like that. I'm like 265 now.
Because now you look jacked up, man.
Yeah,
you look ready.
You look big now.
A little bigger, yeah. I could feel it. Just a bigger, just stronger.
He's a big guy though. He's not as tall, but he's a big. Dude.
He's really big. He's really tough. I remember like on the video, I caught him with a big right hand. He said one like this. Like on the video, you can really clearly see how his head literally just like went like this. His head was still here, he was already punching,
He has a chin.
He has a chin, and he's tall. I mean, it's a great experience for me, really, And he's proven now to really be one of the best, but just really pulverizing everybody fought. I'm eating big shots and bombs and whatnot. I'd love to one day get my rematch. Now I have to first get my career back on track.
Right.
But one day, and I know things. I know how to beat her.
Yeah. I mean, using your height to your advantage will help.
Using the height, yeah, but it will. But he's gonna run you over anyways. I mean, even if you have like a sniper rifle, he's gonna come close somehow. You have to do some things which I know that
you can't disclose that information. Yeah.
But still, you know, he's unbelievable, and I like him a lot. I'm like a big fan of his. And by the way, I remember, you know, we fought, and afterwards he, you know, hustled all his way through the people and came to my locker room and told me, like, well done, keep going, and, you know, like, hugged me and left. Like, he was
humble.
He's a solid guy.
Nice dude.
He's a solid guy.
Yeah, you could respect that always.
Yeah, absolutely.
When did you start sparring AJ? Was it around that timing after?
I sparred AJ in 2012, right after the London Olympics.
Okay.
Right after.
How old were you?
2012 was 20.
20.
I was born in 92,
so
I was 20.
Okay. So you were still an amateur?
Yeah, I was still an amateur, and we sparred, and he was we fought, he fought in the North London division, I fought in the East London division.
Oh, he was an amateur too, AJ?
Yeah, no, well, he had
just turned pro.
No, well, yeah, I think sparring for his first pro fight.
Oh, okay.
Like around that, I think for his first, and then again for I think his third or fourth pro fight. Just when he turned pro, I started sparring. But I saw him before fight many times in the London amateur circuit. He was like he's from North London, and I was from East London.
Right.
And then how it works, you fight first you fight in tournaments, you fight like in the East London, like Northeast and East, and you fight the winner of London, etc. That's how it works. And so I saw him on all the shows. I remember I saw him once fight a friend of mine, and he lifted him up with a left uppercut. Like, he was like saying,
like he did to Klitschko.
Yeah, he lifted him up. I was like, fuck, you know, what's this? It was shocking. And AJ back then was skinny and 20 years old, 19, 20, or however old he was. He was always a huge puncher.
But he was also very loose back in the days.
Yeah.
Now he's so robotic.
Yeah. Well, he's packed on so much muscle as well, and
that's effective.
You know, it kind of drags your physicality and your punching power and everything up, but it somewhat also makes you, whether you want it or not, you're gonna be a little bit stiffer, I guess. You know, it's funny because a lot of guys are writing AJ off now after, you know, his last couple of fights and whatnot. He is really still a force to be reckoned. He may, you know, struggle in the world of, like, you know, with Tyson Fury and Usyk are world champions just because they're both so special and both really not made for, like, both
they move
made
like
for AJ's style.
Yeah.
Kind of like they're made to beat AJ's style. But apart from that, I mean, okay, Deontay, once again, he's also, you know, a very, very dangerous guy who, I'll tell you
right hand
stories about him. Yeah, that right hand really is unbelievable. But, you know, AJ is still, like, really, really, like, he's impressive. Like, he's like a force of nature. And the way he cracks with both hands, like, you know, like a horse can kick. And he's truly, I mean, as far as I can judge, you know, I sparred him a couple, like, when I think February of last year and whatnot. And he was really...
Oh, you sparred him recently?
Yeah.
So what was the difference of this sparring recently in February to the ones when you were 20?
Well, when I was 20, I was once, like, I was skinny, and I was always very tall, but I was never so
strong,
physically developed, kind of, you know. Whereas AJ, when he was 20, I saw him fight. He was, like, lifting people off the floor just with, like, sheer size and strength. And by then he was just stronger. Whereas when we met again later, I sparred him for the Pule fight.
Okay.
Whenever it was 2020, end of 2020, it was December 2020. And then I sparred him like a few months later. I just went down there for like a month and just worked for like 2 or 3 weeks together because he was supposed to fight Tyson Fury. I mean, there were talks of him fighting Tyson. Then obviously the fight never happened, but I was with him for 2 or 3 weeks, and I was it was just more like a learning camp kind of thing. So we were working like differently. We were working on, I think it was sparred like heavily to like, I guess, like we proper sparred 2 or 3 times, but most of the time I think we trained 4 times per week together, and it was a lot of like jabbing each other and like you jab and I slip, but really competitive, high intense work. It was a really great. It was great for me.
Was he really caring towards you though? Did he take care of you when he were training him?
He's brilliant. Like honestly, like all of this, you know, I sparred AJ, Tyson, Wilder, Klitschko. I mean, many more. But I can really say I've always been really. But all of these guys, I've always been, you know, taken care of, and everybody was really welcoming and nice, and their teams, and you know, well, there's always gonna be someone you may get along better or worse, but I was always treated with respect. And, you know, everybody really appreciate the work. Look, if you go there with intent to help and, you know, with, like, bags of respect yourself and with really interest to learn, everybody's going to, I mean, these guys are going to appreciate it. And I was always very lucky, and it was always a really, really good experience in any of these places I've been in. For me to go to spar AJ in the UK is always good because I lived in London 10 years. I have most of my friends are there, so for me it's like going home. Like literally, London is like my home. So for me it's like
it's a win-win. You're getting the experience and you're going back home.
Exactly.
How many times did you guys spar? How many rounds more or less can you say? And who had the better work?
Out of all of these guys?
Well, with AJ, how many times did you guys spar? And then
so I spar. I mean, say we spar maybe like in 2012ish, maybe 25 rounds, and then for the Pula fight, he brings in like 6, 7, 8 sparring partners. Of course. I was starting. I was doing 2 rounds, and then see you on Wednesday, and then that's how it was. But it was good because you weren't sparring much, but then the coaches said spar each other with other guys, so you would stay sharp because 2 rounds is like a bit, So I mean, I must have done with AJ maybe, I mean, including all these like tech drill sparring, maybe like 80 rounds. Keep in mind I was there once with him 3 weeks. I was the only guy there, so it was only me and him. We were working together like I think 4 days a week. I mean, probably even more because we used to like literally do like rounds and rounds and rounds.
When you say you guys were doing rounds, do you guys like doing rounds to work, little jab, right hand? Or you guys actually trying to kill each other?
No. When we were sparring, it was like full on.
Ready to kill each other.
Full on.
A fight.
Whereas when we were working, it was kill each other with what you're meant to do.
Yeah, like a combat school.
But when you jab, like in AJ, he does this to you, you're gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm also big, so it's a big man. It's very hard because you have to put so much effort. I try to explain this to people. You have to put so much effort into your movement to make the movement work. Otherwise, it's sloppy. Whereas as like a smaller man, it's more effortless. Whereas a big man, you actually have to put some energy, some steam behind your shots. Otherwise, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And so it's always going to be either you just don't do it or you do it like properly. And no, it was like serious work all the time with all of these guys. It's serious work.
What's the one thing that you learned the most in that training camp with AJ?
Yeah. You speak really highly of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. With AJ, I learned, so many things. Like back then, he used to train with Rob McCracken, who was the head of Team GB of the Great Britain amateur boxing team. And then he used to train with another gentleman called Joby. He was also there a lot. I'm not quite sure what his involvement with him now, but he is the uncle of Ben Whittaker, this particular Joby. And Joby, he's a very, like fundamentalist Cuban school, Soviet Union school, and, loose. And if you watch AJ's fights with Pool and whatnot, you can always hear someone screaming from the corner, long and loose and relaxed. It was all his philosophy. And they were really trying, because I guess he does tend to sometimes stiffen up a bit. I guess they were trying to, loosen him up. And this was something really so important because Joby was the guy. I mean, AJ has maybe 3 or 4 boxing coaches there, plus, his strength and conditioning coach, assistant, like probably like an entourage of 8 or 9 people there with him. But Joby was the one who was really taking time to really work with sparring partners that wanted to get that extra work, and I was always the one raising my hand. And he was really about, like being really loose all the time. When you're loose, I mean, you can imagine you can go on for 20 rounds. I mean, 20 maybe long, but you can do 12 rounds with less effort than when you are tensed. You can probably barely do 3 or 4.
Not only that, you're not as predictable as well.
Yeah.
Your combinations flow easier.
Absolutely.
Many things.
Exactly. And he was also about keeping AJ's punches long. And I don't really like to fight long. And my arms, if you measure my arms, they may look long, but not that long actually. My arms are like 79. I don't even remember how long. I may say complete nonsense because I'm not very confident with inches, but my arms are like long. But there are some guys that are 6'5" and have like this much longer arms than me. So, but anyways, it was about staying loose, basically, what I really learned. And just many things. I mean, I actually have notes on my phone about that particular camp with 30 different notes.
Which would you say is the most talented, the biggest puncher, and like which one was your toughest sparring out of all those guys?
Okay, well,
all right, first, the most talented.
The most talented, okay, depends. I think that, for example, AJ is the most talented with like the least amount of effort to put in, if you can understand it. So basically AJ, I mean, he won Olympics with like a handful of amateur fights. After like 3 or 4 years, I think after 3 years before, it was the first time that he actually wore his gloves for the first time.
Yeah, he's more athletically
blessed.
He's just like, and you know, he's very smart and he works really hard, and you know, he's talented, but he also works very hard. But he would say, I mean, he achieves Olympic medal with the least amount of, if I may say so, time and effort. He may have put in a lot of effort in those 3 years, but 3 years of work of AJ, I'm not comparing it to 15 years of work with some of the other boys. And they've also trained very hard. They just didn't have that physical talent that he has. Like, for example, say like, who else was in those Olympics? The Chinese guy, Zhile Zhang, just to say a name, right? I remember because they actually fought each other. Zhile Zhang, he's probably boxing he's been to the Olympics before that, won silver.
He's been twice.
He probably boxed 18 years to that point, and he still didn't even manage to beat AJ that just started boxing 3 years before. So I guess talented, you'd have to say talented with the least amount of work, AJ. Talent overall, Tyson Fury.
Okay.
Because he is just... you can just do more with his set of talents that he brings to the table after all is said and done.
Got it. And out of those guys, which one hit you the hardest or hurt you?
Well, AJ broke my nose. My nose was sideways.
Oof, damn. What did he catch you with?
Uppercut.
Oof.
My nose.
Oh, that uppercut is disgusting. The one he hit
me with my nose. It was sideways. You know, it hit me and I just felt something just went like really wrong in my nose. It was in 2012. I just felt something was bad. It was my last round sparring as well. And, you know, we were just like, you know, he called me and I felt something was wrong. And then, you know, like we finished the spar. I guess my spar finished, like the round finished like 30 seconds after. And, you know, I just came out and I just looked myself in the mirror. My nose was sideways. I said, my God.
Was it bleeding everywhere?
Yeah, blood everywhere. If my mom sees me now, she's going to scream. It was literally like...
How'd you get it fixed?
Well, believe it or not, one of the coaches there, he got 2 pens and he just like moved it back straight, and that's was it.
And you never did anything to it? That's the old school way.
That's why I snore at night. That's why I always have a blocked nose.
So you would say AJ has hit you harder than Wilder did?
No, Wilder, I would tell you what happened with Wilder.
Bomb squad over here.
So with Wilder, what happened is that, you know, at this time, I already sparred AJ, I already sparred Wladimir Klitschko.
And you're bigger.
I've been hit by many guys, you know, I was more experienced.
You got more experience, yeah.
You know, I said... like, what's he gonna do to me? You're gonna punch hard, but nothing I ain't seen before. I go in there in the first round, he hits me so hard that I was like, my God, what is going on? He cut my eyelid open as well. That's how hard he hit me. And then, you know, like we go on with the spine, etc. And then he punched me again, and he broke his hand on my elbow.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So you would say that the biggest puncher was Wilder.
The biggest puncher with the right hand by far is from Deontay Wilder. Like that shot is just so vicious. It's like something you will never feel again.
So the right hand Wilder, but how about overall with all their tools?
No, overall, age is more physical, kind of like when you are at like mid range, not close range, not far. When you're at mid range and AJ unloads like a 5-piece on you, you regret starting boxing. You feel it like big time. But when Wilder, when he lines you out, he's got a very fast jab, where it's like a flick, bam, at like long distance. He really jumps in, like he could hit that door from here.
He has like I think an 83 inch.
Yeah.
83, I think I have 79. So man, his arms are probably this much
longer.
And
the thing is that Wilder also steps in with his right hand, like so it's really long. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And he's very fast. He's only like about 220 pounds and. Like he's physically strong though. Like, you know, his legs may be skinny. He may not be able to, you know, squat or push or pull certain things in the gym like some of us bigger boys be able to do. But I think there's a video of him bench pressing like, I don't want to say, I think 450 pounds or something for one rep or something.
Yeah, that's heavy.
That is like...
That's heavy.
That's heavy.
Anything above 315 is really heavy.
Exactly. I can't even do 315.
Really?
No.
Nah, I think you can.
No, I think I can do. Well, I've never really done as much because my elbow was hurt, but I think 300 I've done.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
So you would say AJ was the toughest sparring then?
No, I mean they're all.
It's hard, right?
I mean, look like Tyson Fury, for example. It's so hard to hit. Like you spar with him, you feel like dumb because you can never hit him. And then I mean, it's hard to hit him. And he's gonna punch you hard as well. Let me talk about this.
They're heavyweights. In heavyweights,
exactly.
almost
they are gonna land.
99% are gonna hurt.
Especially they're all champion heavyweights as well. It's not like
high level
Joe Blow. So Tyson, you know, like he's like, what, flick, oh, southpaw, flick, and then just missing and this and that. And then one time, he lined me up and jumped in 1-2, step back, 1-2 again, and that like it really hurt.
Stun you.
Like I was like, wow, and I had like 3 Tyson Furies in front of me. I said, hang on, which one is the real one? Like he can really crack. He can also. I mean, he's
a big guy.
275-pound man punching hard, like you said.
Heavyweights. Anything above 220 is gonna be
anything
heavy.
above, exactly. Very well said. So this is, I would say, and I mean Wladimir Klitschko, he was very, you know, he's like very like methodical. He's gonna just like stay there and like left hand and jab, left hook, jab. He got a very stiff left hook, and then, you know, bam, laser sharp right hand behind it. And there's also a very traumatizing shot. He's very strong with left hook, right hand, and you would not see him throw a right uppercut. Like rarely. He only throws jab, left hook,
straight
right
punches.
hand. That's all, and his left hook is like out here.
That's his style.
It's not here. Like it's like a long left hook.
Yeah, it's like the Cuban one, like this.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he's also really special. Very lucky with his last fight. You know, I was his sparring partner for the AJ fight.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, one of his sparring partners for the AJ fight. So it was
an honor for you.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
pretty.
And you know, I'm born in Germany, and my dad is from Germany. My dad still lives in Germany, so the Klitschko brothers were always, you know, like in our conversations about boxing, because they were just headlining shows 4 times a year.
An idol.
An idol. You know, he said, 18 title defense. I mean, love him or, I mean, you cannot hate him, because they're both, I believe they're just both great.
Yeah, for sure.
And I get it. Some people, I'm not necessarily like in love with their boxing, but I went to see some of their shows, you know, they filled up, you know, 50, 60,000 people, arenas in Germany 3-4 times a year. They always knock guys out. They, you know, had massive ring walls with fireworks and whatnot. I mean, it was pretty cool. And they were the last great guys of German boxing. Once they were dead, once they were finished, German boxing died.
Right. So I have one more question.
Yeah.
Pertaining to these sparring sessions that you had.
I might have a follow-up question.
That's fine.
Go ahead, man.
That's fine. You could follow up, but so you name me your toughest, your hardest puncher, your best boxer. This question, I know you're humble, but which one was the easiest for you?
Putting time on the spot.
Okay, let me put it this way. I didn't have much sparring with Deontay Wilder, so I only had like a few rounds with him, because then he broke his hand. And, I got cut as well, and I was fighting, so anyways, he broke his hand, he just stopped sparring. The fight with Tyson Fury got postponed, so there was no more sparring.
Oh, so you're the reason to that, because damn.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah. And so Deontay Wilder, I'm going to have to take him out of the equation. Tyson Fury, I'm going to have to take him out of the equation as well, because he's just so like special, hard to hit, and to win a fight, you're going to have to hit someone. You can just not hit him. Wladimir Klitschko back then, he was also really, I was a 49-fight amateur. He was, 18 defense world champion. He was a whole different league, like literally.
Right, he was a world champ.
Once again, take him out of the equation. I mean, I sparred many other guys too, but AJ is there. I also know certain things about AJ, how to beat him, and it's not like these guys beat him. It's not like these guys beat him.
Yeah, by hitting him and rocking him, and
it's not like that. It's not like I know another way to beat him. He's very muscular, very strong. He's gonna unload on you. He's gonna need time to recover after he unloads on you.
Right.
And that's when
that's when you attack.
On the other hand, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to really be really tight and take shots and block shots. But once he unloads on you a big shot, he is gonna clearly have to recover for a minute. But he recovers very quick, so you cannot just hang about there. Let me just now recover myself. No, you have to really stab him to the body here, and just let your shots go. And then he's gonna be like, oh fuck, then he's gonna come back with something and gas himself even more. On the other hand, he's also very experienced now, AJ. Like he is way more experienced now than what he was a year and a half ago in February. So imagine he said a win, a loss. He fought Usyk twice after that. You know what I mean? AJ is a different fighter now than what he was a year and a half ago. He's trained with a different coach as well, and I think AJ's best coach was Rob McCracken. I think the constellation year before with Rob McCracken with the Team GP guy was the best. But he knows best. He's training with them. I'm just, who am I? I was there for a few weeks. I wasn't training with him, so I cannot say. But he's a perfectionist, and he's really about like the sweet science. I couldn't care less about that. Sweet science, like run across the ring, just hit you a big right hand, follow with a left hook.
So was AJ the easiest?
No, he was probably the hardest.
Okay.
Actually, he was probably the hardest.
Okay.
But his equation can be solved easier than others.
Got it.
My follow-up question. It's a dream fight that might not happen, but if it does happen, who do you see winning with you being in the ring with both?
Fury
with both
or AJ?
No, AJ or Wilder?
Oh, that's such a brutal question. Everybody is now saying Wilder. I mean, Wilder.
Because that right hand.
Yeah, and I can see it happening too. By the way, but AJ has also been hit by some really big guys as well.
And he's been a little stunned.
Well, he's been a little stunned, but he also he's gonna block. He keeps that. He knows how to do that really well. Just negates the right hand of his opponent by sticking his arm out. It's like Tyson's done in the first, or like Tyson's done in all three of the Wilder fights, especially in the first one, and in the second one. I think the second one especially. I mean, it's a coin toss. You have two of the biggest punchers in heavyweight.
You got to pick one, champ.
Because history. I'm gonna say
You got to put your house on it.
I put AJ. I'd say AJ wins.
Oof.
I'm going to have to go the other route and say Wilder.
You know what? I really can see that happening. I mean, Wilder to me beat most guys. And I can see Wilder, I think Malik Scott's done such a good job with Wilder in his last fight. Wilder looks so much better.
You could see
jabbing to the body, way more composed, really looks really well. So Malik Scott, I really like him. First of all, he's a really nice guy whom I've met at the Klitschko camp we talked about earlier. But I think he's going to be, he is already a great coach, clearly, but he's going to really be a really great, like a Hall of Fame coach in the future. He loves the sport, he loves the sweet side. He's had 35, 40 odd fights himself against big guys. He knows the game from all aspects, from Philly as well. That also means a lot. So it's a really tough call. If I have to bet my house on someone, I probably just go with AJ. I tell you how it would go. It'll go like first round. They both gonna look here and there. While they're gonna throw a big right hand, AJ's gonna block it. He like this. He's gonna overreach. Deontay somehow his chin's gonna be somewhere here. AJ's gonna let one big right uppercut go. Wilder's stunned from that, and he's gonna just finish.
If we gotta clip this, because if that fight happens and that does happen, you're a fortune cookie, bro.
That's true.
When I was on the podcast on what's it called, the Boxing Voice, they asked me what's gonna happen when Gervonta Davis fights. What's the name of the guy? The other TMT guy.
Rolly?
Rolly. And I said Rolly's going to overreach with the right hand. Gervonta going to step back and catch him on either a big left uppercut or big left straight. And that's exactly what happened.
Exactly how he pulled back. Boom.
Going back to AJ, I think AJ is really good. I just think he's holding back way too much. I guess the confidence isn't there anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, his problem, you can see it.
The confidence.
With the confidence before, he was vicious and confident.
Now he's so...
Usyk took a lot of confidence out of him, but something that he's been having in many fights is also that stiffness we spoke about.
Yeah. Well, what was... I was actually in Miami on vacation when this happened. When it was this famous vacation when I moved here. I was in South Beach on holiday, and Ruiz knocked out AJ.
AJ.
And it was crazy because I was watching on the TV over there, and TV was glitchy. My friend was streaming it on his phone here, like there. And I saw my friend doing like going crazy, and I said, "Shut up." He said, "You will see now." And then boom, 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 AJ's down. I was like, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe it." Then I saw him again go crazy, and I said, "I'm not even gonna look at you anymore." I was just looking at the TV, and he got he got stopped.
That was a big upset.
But if you look at his ring walk, AJ, I know it's so cliche, but I actually said it. He looks wrong. Something is wrong.
I saw you said that on the Boxing Voice.
Something is. I said, man, what's wrong with him? I've seen him before. If I walk out in the amateurs in front of 50 people there, I've seen him do that, and I've seen him in the Olympics in the final. I've seen him a lot of times, at somewhat close. That was not him. He was so weird. It was strange, man.
And we say this every episode, though, man. Boxing is 90% mental. If you ain't mentally there, man, bad shit can happen in the ring.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's true. It's true.
So, but you went off with the AJ question. I wasn't gonna do that to the champ, but now I gotta ask you a question. Fury Usyk happens. What
Fury Usyk happens. I had a debate about this, but I think Fury wins. And I think Fury is gonna come out I liked him the most when he was I guess you may say, too fast, too furious. You know, like this feint. Like
very jiggity.
This is why I liked him the most, and that's how you're gonna come on and keep him long every now and then on the right hand. Usyk may do a couple of moves, but he's gonna be kept at distance.
It's too little.
Too little. You know, gonna be kept at distance, and it's gonna be a couple of moments where maybe Usyk may be in more trouble, but he's gonna be able to, you know, survive and float around. He's gonna lose the rounds. And they're gonna give the rounds to Tyson because he's gonna be behind his jab, and you know he's gonna have the crowd behind him. He's just gonna win, I think. Like, not because he has the crowd behind him, he's gonna win just because he's gonna outpoint him.
Yeah, he might knock him out too.
And you know what I can see happen? You know what I can see happen? I can see Tyson sooner or later having Usyk against the rope. Usyk's gonna shell up, and then Tyson gonna really like.
He's gonna unleash
bombs.
He's a big dude, and Usyk is really small.
Yeah, so. And. Like, Usyk is also good at blocking, and we've seen when AJ unloaded in the round 9 of the last fight. I mean, he took some licks, and the
body shots hurt him.
The body shots hurt him, and he came back even stronger the round after.
But you see the confidence builder. If AJ would have done that from the earlier rounds, work the body, be aggressive, smuggle him, the outcome probably would have been different. But unfortunately, it didn't go his way.
You can really see that because AJ and all of his camps are, you know, boxing and looseness and, you know, keeping it long and all. But I am a culprit myself with this. I really, how can I say, like we're just like monsters kind of, you know. Like when I try to do that, I'm not good. I just have to really just like run a guy over. That's what I can do.
You're in the hurt business.
And the hurt business, right? And that's what AJ can do better than anybody else. He does that like Mike Tyson type of style. Maybe a bit differently, I guess he's taller.
Right.
But that's like his thing. When he hits you with one, and you're there like, oh shit, he's gonna hit you with another, and then if you're lucky, you're gonna still be there, and another big uppercut, and then
it's over.
I don't care who you are, but you're gonna be down.
Let's talk about you though, champ.
The champ right here.
I want to get into you now. Are you still with Pro Box?
Good question.
No filters.
I actually am not.
Okay. No problem. So you're free right now?
Yes.
Free.
Oh, you already know. Al Heyman, Golden Boy, the Zone, the champ's ready.
Matchroom. Top rank.
You know what? There are some interesting news that I think is going to come on the next couple of days. I should have somewhat prepared mentally with this question, but I didn't. So I'm going to kind of try and freestyle it. With Pro Box, you know, we really had a good time, I think, while it lasted, but they had different plans. I mean, look, I lost my last fight. I fucked up, you know, and I will tell you I fucked up on many occasions. I fucked up on so many occasions in this fight, but sometimes, you know, God or whatever you want to call it works in very mysterious ways, I guess, and only hints that you can understand things. So I think now, starting to understand certain things about this particular loss and why I lost and whatnot. I mean, I know why I lost it. I mean, I had a hand that needed surgery, and you know, 3 weeks before the fight, I actually had COVID. I wasn't bad, but you know, I couldn't train. I was somewhat bad, but I only tested negative. I only had 1 more full week of training. I think I tested negative Friday. I had 1 more week, and then it was fight week. And in my last spar, then I broke my eardrum. By the way, COVID didn't really. I wasn't really sick, but I had to quarantine. You know, even when I was positive, I was still going to the gym at like 11, 12 at night when the gym was empty, doing bag work alone. But it was not ideal, you know. I missed a week of sparring, you know. I was somewhat, you know.
Yeah, you weren't 100%.
100%. Then in my last spar, you know, I got my eardrum
bursted.
And also this year, I fought with broken eardrums. My eardrum is broken now, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, my eardrum is constantly broken, I guess. But this was a sign. First sign was my hand. This happened on the 8th of May. This happened the day that Canelo fought against Bivol or lost on Bivol. I was trying to reconstruct when this happened. There's a picture of me when I was wearing a self-taped, self-medicated fucking tape on my finger, trying to cure a broken finger. I've never been really good with like taking care of things. I was just like, yeah, whatever. You know, when people, I mean, my coach told me, people would never even spar with a hand like you. I need a surgery. I have a screw in there now. I just had a full camp with it.
Yeah, I saw that video when they pulled out the pin.
Is it fully healed now?
Yeah, it's fully healed now. But you know what? The main problem was not even the hand. I've sparred with a hand. You know, I just didn't really use it much. Every now and then, I just went like, fuck! It just hurt so much. It hurt like because my tendon just like snapped. I had 2 fractures and my tendon snapped. The tendon was the main problem. And
That's a big damage.
When I hit that spot, it was like electric shock. I was sparring and I hit it and I was like, fuck. It was like really like this. I was like, everybody used to look at me like, What happened? I said, don't worry, let's go again. Because then he settled, but I couldn't throw my right hand. Anyhow, there was another really big problem. The hand, COVID, the eardrum, these things I could have all managed. That's why I was there in the first place. But the night before the fight, for whatever reason, I could not close an eye. It was unbelievable. I couldn't sleep.
Why do you think that was?
I know what it was. It was God telling me, you got a broken finger. I told you not to fight. I gave you COVID. I told you not to fight. In your last spar, you useless guy. I broke your eardrum and still I told you not to fight. And now here's your last chance. Oh, you're going to fuck up. And I was thinking, man, you have to put. It was like 4. And by the way, I drowned myself in ZQL. I drank like 3/4 bottle of ZQL. I took 10 milligrams of melatonin, and then I still didn't sleep. And I took antihistamine too, like anti-allergy thing. And I was still up. Then I fell asleep with 3 hours. I woke up the next day a zombie. I was fine. I said, man, you're gonna have to pull out. But I said, how are you gonna pull out? You have people here from like different cities, and I was just like, whatever. Let's just kind of go to Starbucks, get like a nitro or 2 of them, and you'll be all right. But the whole thing, man, I felt so cloudy and so bad. It was really terrible. It was really terrible.
It was a mental thing.
It was, and it's never been like this before. Like ever, I was always feeling good and happy. For some reason, this particular time, I think what it was is that I was in bed and I was thinking like, fuck, like you can't throw right hand. You just had COVID. You know, your eardrums. Fuck, like what are you doing here? You know, and then it all hit me. That's why I couldn't sleep at night. It was really, the sleep was the issue, not the hand. And the eardrum didn't bother me at all. The finger was, I guess, a problem, and COVID somehow. But the main issue here, I felt like a zombie, and I couldn't have it in me. You know, like usually I get hit, I come back with like a flurry or like a dragon, a spit fire, like we've seen in other fights, like the Amon Sanz. They caught me with a big left hand, I came back, I stopped it. This is my thing, I get hit and I just run you over after. And this fight got hit. I was like, fuck. I was like so, like tired, and the whole thing was just wrong. And
for the people that look at this video, though, like what makes you go out there knowing that you have a broken finger and you have a busted eardrum? What makes you? What gives you that drive to go out there and perform?
You know what it was? I said, you've already, COVID happened and managerial issues and fights got canceled. I said, you want to like get on going. And I said, Curtis Harper, whatever, go out there, land a big one too. And the show is done. That's what I thought. And also, my last 2 opponents, I stopped them both in the first round. And one of them was, all right, a really mediocre guy. But the other one was actually fairly decent. Amran Sanz is actually, he's going to be all right. You'll see him do all right in the near future. And also I just run him over, and I said the same. I'm gonna go out, just run him over. Like literally, I said I'm gonna go out there, 1-2 rounds done. But I just couldn't warm. It was just bad. I mean, it was nobody but a lot of people got blamed. And it was just my fault.
You couldn't let your hands go mentally. You were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong. But once again, my fault. Like I learned all of this, and also my fault, by the way. I was 278 on the scale. Like 278.
You were heavy.
Yeah, but there was also a thought behind it because Tyson Fury was heavy, and like, hey, we gotta be big and all that. No, like you gotta do what works for you. Like there's fucking Ivan Klitschko, for example, great fighter. He's like 240 is my height. So what should I be 240? No, I am who I am. Like I have certain bones and structures and whatnot, so I have to be whatever I am.
What do you like to be at?
I like to be 255. I'm 264 now. So I'm already lost plenty of weight, and I'm. By the way, I was 278 the day before the fight, before breakfast. Probably fought at 282, maybe even 284, maybe 280. I don't know, but I was like heavy. So it was also my responsibility, and I used to eat a lot. I was like, and we have to eat like. I was eating organic and I guess healthy. I wasn't eating like fucking like pizzas, and I was eating like a lot of pastas and steaks, heaps of pasta. I did with big steak there, and I need it. Gotta be strong and all that. No, you don't. I eat like way more responsible now. No, not responsible. I thought this, like, if I would be a normal human being, that diet was good. I mean, I get it. You can be vegan, you can be this, but I used to eat healthy, organic food, nothing fried, nothing. But this particular time, I was just eating like this way too much. Whereas now, I try to have more chicken, more salads, maybe carbs only for lunch. oats in the morning and not like, like an 8-egg omelet with toast and with fucking, I just eating too much.
Right.
And I learned my lessons on every item. By the way, I was also, like dealing with a lot of like friends all the time. Like I don't really party, but friends and let's go here, let's go there. It was never like crazy late nights. There was no clubbing involved. There was no drugs. It was really just like a lot of banter with friends and let's go and play pool and like on a Friday night at 10, 11, be home at 1 o'clock, maybe 12 o'clock. I learned my lesson.
You're mentally distracted.
I've made many mistakes in all aspects. First by being like a social bunny. Second by eating and just eating my way into just being like a very big. And third by completely neglecting every single injury that I had, like neglecting. My coach told me, Christian, I had 2 hairline fractures, and I know this because I had the scan. Hairline fracture takes 2-3 weeks, you're good again. And like we were like my coach was like, whatever, we both learn a lot from it. Like, for example, some people, they over dramatize the issues, their health issues. I was always under dramatizing my issues. Like
right.
I was in the gym with COVID.
Yeah, you didn't even complain.
Like at night alone, I cleaned my bag. I do 11 at night, but I was in the gym with COVID, punching the bag and music on. I was feeling tired. I didn't even have somebody to lace my gloves up. I had a hand that needed surgery, and I was there alone because I had COVID. Couldn't even lace my gloves up. No problem. Just tie him up, chuck him in there, put some tape with my friend, just punch the bag for 10, 15 rounds.
I saw the injury on Instagram. It looked pretty nasty.
Yeah, it looks serious.
But now you're 100%.
Yeah, I'm
You're still doing therapy or no?
Yeah, I'm still doing therapy. That's the scar here.
So you're not training yet then?
No, I'm sparring.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
so you could already punch?
I can punch, I'm sparring. The only thing is, you see, like, I can bend this finger.
Right, I see it.
This is just stuck. It just doesn't go.
Do you have a screw in there?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, scar tissue and screw and all kind of, this is what it is. But it doesn't hurt anymore, it's still sore here and there, but everything hurts.
Can you disclose what happened with Pro Box?
Nothing really happened, actually. Like, it was just like a thing that they wanted me to train in Tampa and the facility there. And there were some just contractual disputes, basically, really. This is like mainly what I really don't think it'll be fair to say here to the public, but
got it.
Contractual disputes, and at the end of the day, we had a good time together, and what it lasted, but they have different plans for what they want to do with themselves and with me, and I have different plans too. There are now some really interesting things that they're making. I unfortunately cannot yet disclose anything, but we are planning to make things accelerate fast. And by the way, any promoter, matchmaker, boxer, agent, manager, fan, whatever you are, I do not intend or want any build-up fights or comeback fight. Whatever it is, I want to jump like straight back into the fight, healthy and fit, and take on, like, I'm a prize fighter. I don't want to fight, a
bum,
as they call
You want to get to it. So call somebody. Who you want to call out right now? If you can call out somebody.
Hang on. You know what? There's a certain fighter that this fight may really happen. I can't call out now because it's all very, very delicate. My current situation is very delicate now, but it is something gonna be spectacular. Gonna be something very interesting. I can just make a couple of hints. 6'7", 270, from across the pond, undefeated. Good fight.
I think I know who it is. I don't want to say anything because. Can I throw a jab? Let's keep it in house. I don't want to.
Well, you know what? He fought in America too.
Okay.
Think about it, and then we you know what? I'll tell you later.
I think I got it.
I don't have to think anymore.
Yeah.
So
Oh shit.
Do you have a date for for?
No
date, but for the managers and stuff that are gonna contact you.
Yeah.
When do you want to be back in the ring?
April.
March or April.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the next 2-3 months you can be back in there.
100%.
Okay, great. That's what I wanted to know.
100%. I really I will never be like the next, and Floyd Mayweather, although we share the same birthday, 24th of February.
You're February 24th?
Yeah.
Man, you were almost in the best zodiac, bro.
Yeah,
you're a Pisces, right?
Ward,
yeah, that's not the best. The best is the one before, Aquarius.
You are Aquarius.
No, the best one is the Virgo. I'm sorry. Virgo. No, August. I'm an August Virgo.
I'm February 6th.
February 6th, okay.
So I'm next week.
Nice. Oh, next week. Shit, nice.
And then you're 3 weeks there.
Yeah, I can't believe it, man. I mean...
31 years old, huh?
Yeah.
Time flies.
We're close. I turned 27.
27, okay. Man, I'm telling you, the last 4 years, they've been like a blur. It's been unbelievable. I'm telling you, I do not know where time has gone. You know, the war in Ukraine started last year on my birthday, 24th of February. I was just thinking about it. Like, man, this thing has already going on since a year. Like the war done in Europe and Ukraine. And I'm just thinking, like, it's incredible. A year? I mean...
Time flies.
And that's only one of them. I mean, the time it's unbelievable.
Let me ask a fun question. You said that futuristically, if a fight with AJ happens, you know some ways that you can probably beat him or give him problems. Yeah. But you never said the same about Wilder or Fury. Yeah. Is there ways that you think?
Wilder, there's one way to beat him only. That is, you're gonna like stick it on him like Tyson did. In the second and third fight, and in the last round of the first fight, you have to stick it on. You have to be on him like a rush.
And you think you can do that?
Yeah, this is actually my favorite thing to do. Like all the boxing and all that stuff is a nightmare to be honest. It's like just run him over, line him up, and 1 and 2. That's when I really get angry. Not and just when I look at someone and I see them like calm like this, I'm like it's gonna be a bit, I'm gonna have to catch on someone. But when I see someone and when I catch someone anywhere. With any hand, I can see they go like this. When I see that face, like I get like superpowers.
Oh, you get happy.
I get superpowers. Like something switches. The endorphin, the adrenaline just comes up like big time. Just let like my hands go, and it's like I can throw like 40 punch combo and not get tired. This is the actual like power behind it.
And how do you think a fight between you and Fury would go in the future?
Yeah, I mean Fury is just really difficult to. I mean, honestly, we've many times discussed about what you do with him. I mean, you're gonna have to run across the ring and just try and hit him somehow.
He might be retired by then, though.
Yeah.
So that might not even be happening.
Yeah. I mean, that is all. I mean, if he, how you beat him?
He's tough. He's tough to beat. I mean, in my opinion, and
fight him, you're gonna have a nightmare.
Right.
Because he can either outbox, he can fight as well. Outbox.
Yeah, boxing.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
And anything else, I mean, you need a gun to beat him.
I mean, Nelson and I believe right now he is the best heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, he's the best.
Above Usyk and all these other guys.
Like Usyk, I wouldn't know what to do. Whereas with Tyson, I would know that I don't know what to do. You just have to.
That's a good way to put it.
You just have to go out and just really, you know what I think you really have to do with Tyson? You have to really just... easier said than done. You have to really get into his head like before the fight. You have to officially say to yourself, okay, this is not a boxing fight. This is a circus. You're gonna have to make him think that you're gonna have to look at yourself. Fuck me, this guy is like really crazy.
Right.
Like this guy is something I've never seen before in terms of crazy. There's something with this guy just not. And then he may just maybe, here and there make a mistake or whatnot. This is the only way. Otherwise, if you go in there and at the end of his jokes and banter and harassment, you already.
He's a good boxer.
You already, and then you get in step with him in the ring, and then you're gonna just like beat you left and right.
So I have a good question for the managers and promoters that maybe soon can want to contact you for a fight. If they come at you with the opportunity to fight, if somehow they can get Curtis Harper again in there, would you take that?
You know what? I would take the rematch, of course, but the rematch would not really. I mean, I was speaking with somebody recently about this, and they asked me if I were. Of course, I would do a rematch, but you know what? Like, I would much rather fight one of these guys.
The big guys.
Big guys, instead, like if I beat Curtis Harper, I'm gonna be like, he should have done it in the first.
He should have done it the first time, right?
Great, he's done it now. Nobody really cares about it, etc. But if I beat, say, one of these other guys that have been,
they'll forget about that loss.
You're like a whole, you like exactly.
And you're closer to the
exactly. So this is basically like what this whole thing is. On the other hand, I mean, Curtis Harper, I'll remember him on my deathbed. It's really funny, I don't remember even the name of some of the guys that I fought. I remember Curtis Harper on my deathbed. He was just really not my night. I got a pointed down. I mean, first of all, I got dropped. I was just asleep. I didn't see right hand come, boom, right hand got dropped. This was the first kind of failure of the night. Then I got a point. In the first round, he hit me behind the head like 10 times, like down, like quite aggressive, like the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, the rabbit punches.
Yeah. This, in other events, would have caused a riot. If this happens in England, on any,
it would have been a riot.
It would have been a riot, like, of the crowd and the coach and whatnot, There, just the ref just told me to stop holding. Then I got a point deducted too for holding. I was holding a lot, but he was holding too. Like, many times I was there with my arms was saying he's actually holding. That fight, I was just not meant to win. Like, there was some higher powers involved that with all the... I just had to learn my lesson. By the way, my mistakes and my...
Right.
So they just told me, Christian, you think you can be out here doing all these things? No, let me slow you down for a second. But I've learned my lessons. And I remember Curtis Harper on my deathbed. It was really in hindsight now, a great night for me because I learned so much from it. Like, I would go into any other fight with a whole different mindset, and I would never go in there with... I can't believe it. Hand knee surgery is ridiculous. It's just unbelievable. But apart from that, so many other mistakes. Like I said, I was out and about, we always trained really hard. We always trained really good. That was not the question. But as I said, I was out there, just doing things that you shouldn't really be doing in training camp after COVID, a week before the fight, or in your last week of training. And by the way, for the entire 8 weeks before that.
So we have to wrap it up already. But your next fight, let's say everything goes to plan and you get the win. Back to his question: is there somebody that you would like to call out, or you would like to fight after you get a win? Your next fight.
Any of the top 10 prospects, you guys know who they are. I will fight any of them. It doesn't matter where or how or when. It does matter when, but anything March or April. I am not here to take, many people that I'm involved with saying, let's get your fight here and there with somebody. I said, no, I don't want that. I want to fight good. That's when I wake up. When I'm that's when I perform the best. When I fight like better guys, good dance partners. And I am at the end of the day, I really am a prize fighter. I really am I like to entertain. I like to really fight, like big events and bigger shows, and I like to be there, as cliche as it may sound, for the fans. Really, that's what really excites me. I'm not there to collect, 100 wins and belts left and right. I want to make a living, ideally a phenomenal living. But my main thing is to really entertain.
Right.
And that's how you make a living too. So they go go hand in hand. Those are the two things I want to do. Being great fights and proper fights. Like tear-ups, like dust-ups, whatever you want to call it.
Of course.
That's really what I want to do.
I have a fun question before we wrap this up.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me your top 3 favorite fighters right now.
My top 3?
Favorite fighters right now.
Favorite fighters that are active right now. Okay, interesting. So it's going to have to be Tyson Fury. It's going to have to be AJ.
Really?
Damn, the heavyweights?
Two heavyweights?
And, now it gets very tricky because, when those two guys fight, I will watch. That's how I kind of put my favorite fight. When AJ fights and when Fury fights, I will watch them.
Right.
No matter what, where, how.
Understood.
Another guy that I always really like to watch is Derek Chisora. I've watched him since, I saw 4 or 5 of his fights live, growing up in England.
Of course.
I watched him win the British title against Danny Williams.
He's an entertainer. He's an entertainer.
Exactly. This is why I like him. Big fights, big, that's what I strive to somewhat be. Not essentially someone that takes 15 losses like he did, but by the way, I may and will probably lose again. Let me just remind everybody, I'm just a human here, so I will probably make my mistakes again. I hope not to make them like I did last time. But he's great, man. He's always in good fights, entertains. I actually watched him fight the Haymaker as well. I was there, live there, when he got knocked out.
Right.
But still, what a shot. Remember that to put a fence in between them. To put a fence in between them. This is something I aspire to do too.
Yeah.
To make this kind of entertainment pure. Sometimes I look at many of these other fighters, up and coming. It's a pain to watch them. Look, for example, Beterbiev yesterday. By the way, Beterbiev, Yard, what a fight. I used to box with Yard as an amateur. Lovely guy, great, unbelievable fighter. He's like AJ, super talented. Physically, he only had 10, 11, 12 amateur fights. I think he won 10 of those by stoppage.
Anthony Yard?
Yeah, phenomenal guy from a fight. I really, really like him a lot. I saw his rise to stardom. And yesterday's fight, Beterbiev, what a fighter. I mean, what an incredible fighter. But he doesn't bring any entertainment to the table apart from fighting. And bringing fighting to entertainment is already 50%, maybe 60, maybe 70. There's still 20, 30, 40, 50%, depends on how you judge it, of entertainment left to do. They ask him ask him a couple of questions, nothing there to say. I'm just like, next.
No, champ, I need your signature. I need that blessing. You gave me 3 heavyweights though, but give me 3, overall.
I like Gervonta Davis a lot. He's super cool.
So he'll be number 1.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like southpaw, but it's actually funny because there's gonna be 2 southpaws I'm gonna name. So Gervonta Davis I really like. I like Billy Joe Saunders, also southpaw, really cool, slick fighter. I mean, he hasn't fought since Canelo, and of course
middleweight
and Canelo.
I like it.
Canelo should probably be in my top.
No, he should be number 1.
I love Canelo, man.
Yeah.
I went to see a few of his fights. He's just like special.
While you're signing that, champ, real quick, Crawford or Spence?
You know what? I like Spence too a lot. Like he should also be. That's why I said I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say southpaw because he belongs in there too.
So you think Spence beats Crawford?
Yeah, I think it's too explosive.
My guy.
Too explosive.
My guy.
But you know what? I also never. It's also so terrible. He's one of the greatest of sport. I never really watched Crawford.
Oh.
I only watched his last highlight and he fought a Venetian. A Venetian is a nightmare of a guy. A Venetian beat a lot of the top English boys. You know, he beat that Josh Kelly, whatever his name is. He
upset him.
He called for a few upsets in England against top guys. So Venetian is a force to be reckoned with. And Josh Kelly Crawford just like, boom, boom.
Yeah, he dismantled him.
Finish.
Yeah, but Spence is gonna win. You already know.
Spence, I like him. He's just so explosive.
I have to disagree.
Southpaw.
Southpaw.
I gotta disagree there.
It's fine.
Crawford is, I guess, also somewhat. He switches a lot.
He's a switch hitter. He usually fights more southpaw actually.
Yeah.
He does.
Forget about that, man. Just talk about the champ.
But I want to thank you for coming, brother.
Oh, my pleasure.
I really do, man.
I
had a great time. You're educated. You're well spoken.
You're a Miami boy now.
Miami boy.
You already know.
Hopefully we go to the casino and we play some poker.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hey, before we wrap it up, if you have a message for your fans and your supporters right here in this camera right here, this one's yours.
Well, thank you for being on this journey with me. I know I may have let some of you guys down. I guess I'll have to somewhat apologize for mistakes. But as I said earlier, I'm only a human. I'm bound to make mistakes again. But now I learned my lesson. I'm coming back, and I will never be the next Terence Crawford or whatever. But I will be in big fights, and I will give him my best, and I'll fight till like I can't. And follow me in this journey. I can promise you and say many things, but it's going to be exciting for sure. You're going to see tables fly, fences between me and my opponents. You're going to see big bombs fly and whatnot. You're going to see me getting dropped and getting back up and seeing them drop. I just want to truly entertain. That's what I want.
What's your Instagram, champ, for the people?
My Instagram is Christian Thun _official. Follow me, write me. I'll get back to you guys.
All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate you for coming,
brother. Thank you so much,
brother.
man. I appreciate you.
Champ, can't wait to see you in the ring again. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for the next one. And you haven't subscribed.
Subscribe now.
Peace.